You're going to focus on that front muzzle device, the fact that it doesn't move.
Hi everybody, David from VKTR.
After giving you that dwell, it allows us to dump 15 to 20,000 PSI out of the system. It's a gasless system, right? Op rod pushes bolt carrier group and goes. Lower operating pressure, carbine buffer, carbine spring,
Yep.
and just stupidly flat shooting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now.
Good morning. We're out here at Prado Olympic Shooting Park. Okay, and BFE.
Chino.
That one too.
Same thing.
Yeah. We're here with, I'm gonna fuck this up. It's either VKTR or Victor, one of the two. Do you care?
Victor or VKTR?
Either one. I'd say VKTR since that's on the thing.
Perfect.
Cool. VKTR makes life easier.
VKTR it is.
So we're gonna talk about their piston-driven rifles today. I'm not going to talk too much about the specifics internally because pistons are well above my pay grade and I'm kind of touched in the head anyway. So we actually have the owner of the brand coming in to talk to you about the engine of the machine. I'm going to drive the damn thing. He's going to drive the damn thing. And JB has so many questions. It's unbelievable.
So many questions. But I mean, it was cool of him that he flew in from Chicago, I believe it is, all the way over here to be here, present the rifles. It is something we are going to have in store. I can't say the price, and I can't say you can buy them because our shit got taken down for that. So I'm not going to do that again. But what I'm going to say is they're awesome and we will have them. It is a 13.7, correct?
Yeah. Pin and welded.
So it's a 13.7 pin and welded. Do we just want to start going through it?
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. Okay, so we have a mag, we'll go butt to tip.
Yeah.
Magpul SL.
Yep.
Magpul SL in the rear, 6-position buffer tube. They do come with a QD point, a QD end plate on the back end of them. So as I show these, Nikki, you'll want to rotate with me so you can get these. But so all of them are going to come with the Radian LT charging handles. Okay, Radian LT charging handles here. They have a bunch of proprietary stuff on this rifle. That's why it's cool. This is a kind of a different video for us because everybody knows I'm not a huge piston guy. Just from malfunctions or when they break or things go wrong. They've never been big. When I was taught about shooting, it was a lot of the time DI because if you need to field strip it, if you have to go to the store and get something for it, it's all readily available. So this is new to us. I've shot tons of piston over the last 20 years and I really do like them. I've just never invested in them. This is the first full line of pistons that we're gonna bring in. So just a little bit on that. So when you go through it, clear, and we'll just leave it open. So they have their own proprietary fire selects. They are actually really, really comfortable. So as far as compliance, because you're going to notice that the Juggernaut is on it and a comp mag is on it. There will not be both. The ones that we are going to carry in store will just have a comp mag on them. So you'll really be able to use these fire selects the correct way with the way that the thumb sits in there. It has a longer one on your strong side and a shorter one on your weak side for a right-handed shooter. You want to go into a little bit more. Their lower is fully proprietary. Yep. They have 8 different patents on this rifle. And it is a fully ambidextrous lower. So as you can see, you have magazine release on the opposite side and bolt catch. And then you have bolt catch and magazine release here.
For your long-handed shooters.
Yep.
Bolt release, not catch.
Oh, I'm sorry, bolt release. Sorry. Bolt release here. Well, I mean, this technically would be a bolt catch.
That's a catch. The other one's a bolt release.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right. Semantics. I get it.
Yeah.
Cool engraving on it. It does, note their patents and things like that. It has the nice branding on it. You want to go into the BCG?
A little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna let David go into a lot of the BCG stuff.
So basically, the internals of this rifle really make it shoot as well as it does.
It's true.
Along with a bunch of other stuff too. The overall production quality of this rifle for the price that we'll be going for is really fucking nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in this, and we did a little pre-filming testing because we wanted to make sure we actually enjoy this thing. We didn't have to kick him out and send him back to Chicago. So we just decided, we're like, you know what, let's test this thing out real quick. And we got a couple rounds down range of it, and man, coming from a guy who builds rifles all the time, and I have a bunch of rifles that shoot really, really flat, one off the shelf or out of the box, that shoots as flat as competition guns do for a quarter of the price or half the price, depending on where you're getting it from, is really fucking nice. I like flat shooting rifles. It's so flat to a certain point, you can't be, you actually have to, you gotta let the thing do its job. And it shoots really fucking flat. It's really nice, and I'm excited to shoot some more of it, so you guys can see kind of how the differences are between your rifles and these rifles. So we'll just talk about them and shoot them.
And that's where I'm different. I don't care as much as far as the flat shooting. If I have to C-clamp it a little bit more, lean into it a little bit more, the flat shooting part doesn't really fucking matter that much to me. I want the gun to run every time that I pick it up.
Yeah.
Right? I want it to run. I don't want to deal with malfunctions. I don't want to deal with breakages. I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't really care if I can put 7 rounds in 1 second like a comp shooter and go steel to steel to steel. It's not. I want something that is battle tested that's going to run all the time. That's why this rifle was impressive for me and we'll get into it deeper like Sam said with David, but the inner workings of the BCG, they put a nice solid hyperfire trigger on it that's a 4.5. It's more of a battle trigger, which I really like. It has a really short reset, which is nice, but the pull is not super light, right? We're not looking for a 2.5 pound pull. That was really nice. And I actually, I have shot it now. I'm pretty confident that it will always work. It would be a gun that I would own, and we'll go into that more after we shoot it, but that's my big thing. And that's why hopefully these videos are fun for you guys, because Sam and I look for different things in the video. I don't give a fuck how flat it is. I just want it to work. In this BCG, we'll open it up and show it to you and everything like that, but it's better than any of the BCGs that are out there, and that contributes to it running zero malfunction, running smoother, the lockup is better, things like that. That's all important to me. The barrel is super cool. It's a straight fluted barrel. Like we said, 13.7, and we'll let David go into a little bit more as far as the gas block, how it mounts. I can just tell you this, we can tell you this, it's not gonna fucking walk.
No,
it's not gonna walk, it's not gonna run, it's not gonna pivot, it's not gonna fart sideways, okay? So it is locked and set in there, which is absolutely perfect, which I really, really like. It has a Sons of Liberty Knox can ready brake on it, which I like them too. I really like them a lot because they're can ready and they have their slits, but they also have gas dissipation up into the side, which really helps to keep you down and that side-to-side movement. Their handguard is made in-house also. The barrel is press fit in, and I'll let David go into that. So everything, it's just a super quality product.
Yeah. If you guys shoot rifles enough or often enough or even at all, like you can kind of feel quality of rifles for certain things. Like I call it the slop of a rifle, right? When you can kind of feel that they're not necessarily like fitted properly, or they're not fitted to the lower, the upper aren't fitted together. These ones just feel fucking tight. Like you know that you can run this thing and not have an issue. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to show you guys how it shoots. Tight.
So they have we got an MRO on this one with the LaRue riser on it.
Which LaRue, come on, send some shit to California, please. Jesus Christ.
No, I miss LaRue. Well, they're Texas, dude. They don't give a shit about us.
I know, and they don't like California, which makes sense, but still, send us some shit.
I mean, we sell a lot of guns here.
I know.
Let's just go ahead and shoot it. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, let's talk about what we like, what we don't like. All that shebang.
Yeah, shoot the shit out of it.
Load that comp mag up.
It's already loaded, dude. Just gotta rack it in.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
I did that for you.
Can you rack it for me?
No, unfortunately.
As I shoot it more, it's giving me more of the thud that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Right? When I initially shot it, it felt a little twangy to me as far as the buffer spring. Now that I'm shooting it more and I'm getting on it and we lubed it and everything like that, that thud feels more and more solid to me than it even did when I first picked it up. Because you know me, I'm internally skeptical of everything that we shoot, right?
Exactly.
But man, it does feel really, really nice. And the whole point of it is, it's that flat and that light. Imagine if you put a light on it.
Yeah.
Imagine if you put, I mean, this is no foregrip. Imagine if I put a small foregrip on it so I could at least C-clamp it a little bit better. Like, it wouldn't really move at all.
No.
Now, my question I will have for David when he comes on is, can I put a silent capture in here? Can I put a GP systems if I wanted to smooth it out a little bit more as that? Or do you not fuck with what is perfect and just leave it the way that it is? That's a question that I want to ask him.
Yeah. All right.
So go over here, Nikki. So come over here to this side. And when he shoots it, you can shoot it just on a finger first, right? And just, you're gonna focus on that front muzzle device. The fact that it doesn't move. So like, it doesn't move at all. And you, like always, Sam, you shoot too fucking fast. Slow the fuck down.
I thought that was pretty slow.
You're an idiot.
That was the slowest I think I've ever shot. Just give me all of them, it's fine.
So I wanted Nikki to be able to show.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll do a shot a minute, I got you. This is gonna be a 60-minute episode. I have 7 rounds. Maybe I can make them last that whole video.
Dude, if you're fucking it like a rabbit, do you really know what it feels like? Come on, man.
I only fuck like rabbits.
Slow down.
Okay.
So you're focusing on the fact that the front is not rising, Nikki. The front. Perfect. Now he'll go to regular. You can back off a little, Nikki.
I got a proper C-clamp. It's no muzzle rise.
Yeah, there is no muzzle rise.
I don't know if you guys know a whole lot about like rifles when they come out of the box, but this is pretty unheard of. A comfortable, smooth stroke right out of the box with, I don't know, probably shot like 40 rounds through it.
So what a lot of people don't know, and David will go more into this, right? A lot of people don't know is that when you do this,
go ahead, sorry, I should make sure it's empty for you.
When you initially do this, right, what happens is those lug nuts on your bolt, they lock into your barrel extension, correct? So what happens is those gears usually, there's a little bit of grab and a little bit of lag, but the way they have the BCG designed, there's nothing. It's just smooth right out of there, right? So he'll talk about it too. You get a little bit more dwell time, and it's just a smoother shooting rifle. And a lot of it has to do with, like Sam said, the motor of the gun. Everybody watches Grand Thumb. Everybody hears about different things. I've gotten more on the BCG tip recently as far as the motor of the gun and getting that motor running perfectly. That's really the biggest thing to me now is the BCG. How good is that cam pin? How good is the lockup? How smooth is it? Because if there's anything that's going to wear out and wear out quick, it's going to be the BCG, right? So that's a big deal. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the reset on the trigger. It's just it's like what we did with Covert. Like the conglomeration of parts that are put together, most of these ones are made in-house, but even putting the right parts on the gun creates a gun that shoots very nice for you out of the box. And this one, although we can't say the price because of YouTube, is very well priced for exactly what it is. We will also have the uppers separate. So if you want to build out a gun, anything like that as far as the lowers, you can come in and just get the upper and put the upper on and it'll work just as smooth.
And these run off of a standard carbine system, buffer system. So it's the standard 3 ounce, right? 3 ounce buffer?
Carbine buffer, carbine spring.
So everything's pretty much mil spec when it comes to the actual weight and spring tension of it. So you don't have to run anything crazy. Which is nice. Like
you don't have to run an H9 buffer in it to get it to run and cycle right.
Which is, if you don't know a lot about rifles, it is important because making some of these, not shorter rifles, but some of these rifles with a little bit shorter barrel with a different gas system and gas setup is tough sometimes. But this just runs smooth.
And it's a 1-7 twist on the barrel, so it'll shoot anything that you need just fine. Yeah, like I said, I was skeptical coming in because pistons just haven't been my thing. But Joe talked it up a lot. He's the rep that comes to see us, and it seems really smooth, and we're stoked on it. Oh, another thing.
Yeah, we even tried their standard DI BCGs, and I shoot a lot of rifle on my own free time, and you can notice a physical difference in the lack of lag and the lag you have in your standard bolt carrier group. The average shooter wouldn't notice it, but if you put enough rounds down range and you know how to shoot a rifle, you'll notice the difference between this BCG and other BCGs with how.
Or you'll even notice something like, man, something's nicer. Even if you can't put your finger on it, it just feels a little bit
locks up cleaner, something lets loose cleaner, whatever it may be. It just allows you a little bit, like call it a quarter of a second, just a little bit a little bit more speed, because sometimes like you get these shooters that just outshoot their guns. You know, you have to modify them so much that you just can't, your gun can't keep up with you, which sucks. So putting parts like these on where your gun can keep up with you, not saying by any means that I'm that shooter, but these guys, like certain guys that do a lot of the shooting, right? They want these parts that are going to make them be able to make the gun run like they do, pretty much. So
yeah, and the ambi lower is not something I've been big on personally. Which is kind of stupid of me because I always add a B5.
Yeah, you always add left-handed controls.
And I always add some left-handed controls so you have that option in case of an emergency, or my wife's left-handed too, things like that. So having this all built into lower is actually pretty cool. I like the way that everything, I like the way that they grooved everything. My finger sat on it nice. I was able to use the controls very easily. It's just a super nice gun, dude, and it's cool because you're not paying $3K for it.
Yeah.
You know, like and it will work all the time. So we want to bring David on here. He's the owner of VKTR.
I'll hop off because JB's got a shitload of questions. We'll have David come on and just take my spot.
Oh, you can stay on. Just yell.
I'll stand over here.
Just yell, yeah.
Come on over. We got you, boss man, everybody. David from VKTR.
So we're gonna let him talk about why the BCG is so nice. And everything kind of moving forward on the gun, because that's where I feel a lot of the value comes in this gun is going to be here. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
Okay. So let's start with the BCG. We know that they're clear, and let's go into like how it works and everything like that.
So with the bolt carrier group, and we'll start with the piston system and then get into the DI and that kind of stuff. With the piston system, it's a gasless system, right? Op rod pushes bolt carrier group and goes. So any of that little bit of touch or the cam pin hitting the upper or all that kind of stuff that you get in a normal DI BCG or in a normal piston BCG running Stoner's original cam path slows down and lags the system. So by giving us that 22.5 degree long advanced cam path that we have in the bolt carrier group, you get that 2 degrees of dwell that lock the bolt carrier group longer, but you also get a perfect fit of your lugs on your bolt carrier group through your lugs on your extension. So it almost feels like a roller lock without being a roller lock.
So for all the people that are learning and don't know that, right? So this is what he's talking about. When these go out, right? When this sets into your barrel, okay? These are gonna lock into your barrel extension right here, right? If the fitment isn't good, if there's rub or anything like that, that's where you get that lag when you pull your charging handle back, right? And it sticks, correct?
They scrape, they stick, they catch on the little corner there,
correct.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
And so what he's talking about with dwell time is it's gonna stay close 0.2 degrees longer, correct?
About 2 degrees longer, yeah.
Right, 2 degrees longer. So dwell time is really just how long that projectile is going to be in that barrel before it exits, right? And then how this is going to release, right? The other thing is this cam pin that he's talking about right here, right? This scores the top of your upper, and with theirs, it doesn't. So it's just a smoother path. Is that correct?
Stoner wanted a 22.5 degree rotation.
Okay.
He ended up with a 20.7 when they downsized from the AR-10 to the AR-15 bolt carrier group.
Gotcha.
So by fixing that geometry and giving you our long advanced cam path and giving you that dwell, it allows us to dump 15 to 20,000 PSI out of the system before the gun operates.
Interesting.
So by operating at a lower operating pressure, carbine buffer, carbine spring, and just stupidly flat shooting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. It's funny because he explained it twice to us before we got on camera, and me and Sam are a little thick, even though we've been shooting for a long time. We know a shitload about guns, but that technology and that whole engineering stuff, it took a minute to click, but that actually makes a lot of sense.
So with that dwell in the bolt carrier group and that stuff, and the piston system that dumps gas mid-stroke after function,
okay,
those two working together just allows it to get gas out of the system and function flat.
And it functions perfectly. And the big thing is you don't, like Sam said, you don't have to run all this proprietary buffers and everything like that. So on that note, question I wanted to ask you, if I wanted to do a silent capture, if I wanted to do a JP system, do you recommend that people don't do those things, or do you recommend this is perfect how it is, leave it? But what if somebody wanted to change it? What would you suggest or say?
At a certain point, you're going to short stroke the system.
Okay.
So with like H2s, H3s, you're going to short stroke the system,
makes sense.
Right?
Okay.
Because you're dwelling the system with the heavier weight.
Correct.
But we've already dwelled the system.
Right.
So with like a MAM's crazy muzzle brake or H2s, H3s, sprinkle red springs, A5 systems, all the things people do to calm down and dwell and fix their overgassed DI guns.
Now you're doing it even more to a gun that already has it done.
So you're going to At a short point, you're going to short stroke the system.
Okay, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense, right? So it's kind of nice because a lot of the time you build the gun, you build guns for people all the time, right? I'm going to put an Arma spec, I'm going to put a JP system, and I'm going to put a braided buff wire spring. Extra money that you have to spend on the gun, you don't have to spend on this because of how it's worked up here. You don't have to spend it back here.
Yeah, we fixed the problem here. So on like a 16-inch DI gun, all right, you're going to run a 68 to 72 thou gas hole.
Okay.
We run a 51.
Okay.
We're moving gas an inch. So we don't have, we can run it a 10 and a half. We don't need an 11 and a half. We don't need a 12 and a half for that dwell.
Right.
Because we're not moving gas from here to here 6-7 inches away.
Right.
We're moving gas an inch to a piston.
Right.
So we don't need that much more CFM.
Okay.
We don't need that much pressure because we're only going an inch.
That makes sense.
So once
makes sense.
And again, with the op rod, there's the 6 holes in it.
Okay.
So 3 holes function the gun. Then the next 3 open after function, and the 6 holes fully open, partially open, how long they stay open, how long fast they close.
And that's mechanical.
That's all mechanical based on pressure into the system.
Okay.
And as more pressure, faster they open, longer they stay open, more they dump.
Makes fucking sense.
Yeah. So
I wish I was this smart.
So the good thing with this style of system is it's non-adjustable, you can't change anything, and you can't fuck it up.
And that's what we love.
Yeah.
Because we talk about that week after week of, if it's adjustable, everybody wants it, I promise you, you're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
Well, again, in other states than California and that kind of stuff, or police departments especially, what setting is your gas block on when your suppressor's on versus when your suppressor's off versus this versus that, right?
Right.
Well, I'm shooting 55 grain ammo versus 77 grain ammo. I'm using a back pressure can versus a flow through can versus this or that. So all of that changes your system for what you need to do.
Totally.
Ours just dumps gas mid-stroke.
That's pretty freaking cool. So that one is, tell me about that tech and where you got it and what happened with that so you could get such good tech too.
So I own the patent on the lower receiver.
Okay.
We bought a company called MVB and took their patents and they were shutting down.
Okay.
So I bought the patent on that. The upper receiver we licensed from a guy named Paul Lettnerwise, the Lettnerwise Rifle Company, formerly known as LWRC.
Yep.
So 20 years later, Paul has come up with a new piston system and operating system. And I've known Paul for like 7 years.
Cool.
I called him about 2.5 years ago and I was like, Paul, what are you doing with your Mark V system? And he's like, I want to get it out to the market, I just can't. I said, license it to me. And we created a deal. I licensed it from Paul, and there's not a guy really in the industry that knows more about piston systems than Paul Lettnerwise and that kind of stuff.
100%.
So by putting his piston system on our fully ambidextrous lower receiver, we created Vector Industries to bring it to the market.
Smart move.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's created perfect, and if any of you guys, if you've never heard of LWRC, stop this video right now and go fucking Google some shit.
And then come back.
Right, and then come back. But one of the best gun maker piston systems. They now have a DI, but that's different. But piston systems out there for the last 20 to 30 years, and maybe longer than that. That's just as long as I've been shooting. It's about 25 years. So all the components are really well put together. The tech is very good. It's weird because when you think about rifles, I don't think about tech, right? But this is a lot of the technology that goes into it, the engineering that goes into it.
So they have their line of patents that they're still using that Paul developed years ago.
Right.
And this is the new set of patents that we developed a couple years ago.
Right.
And this is where it's at.
And it's pretty awesome. Like I said, hopefully you guys appreciate my skepticalness when I come into not just pistons, but a lot of different stuff that we have to shoot, because I'm more of a basic bitch guy. I want it to run. I don't care how fancy it is. Yes, I have fancy guns, but I want it to run all the time. And really something that's super impressive to me, overall, and I swear I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but the BCG is a big fucking deal. It is a big deal, and it's so damn smooth. It's not lightened, it's not this, it's not bullshit gimmick stuff. It just works, and it's designed correct, and it runs correct.
I'll have to get you one with our combat match bolt in it,
okay,
and that'll just drop your accuracy. It tightens your groups, it does everything. What we care about is obviously the cam path for the dwell, and that kind of stuff, and getting that perfect lockup every time.
So the cam path for the dwell. So explain that. Sam, can you explain that?
Definitely.
Okay, I was just curious. For the layman, for the person that doesn't know what you're talking about, what does that mean?
So if you see your cam pin and this rotation,
okay,
So how this rotates to get your C-axis back to a top dead center of 22 degrees.
Okay.
So your cam pin goes in your cam pole in your bolt carrier group, and your cam pin hole compared to your lugs is your C rotation.
Okay.
So controlling that is what controls how your lugs lock and unlock.
And how smooth that is, or no.
Well, yeah, so on Stoner's cam path,
Okay.
it's 21.7 degrees.
Okay.
So you're off slightly
Okay.
from a true 22.5 degree top dead center.
Which is what he wanted on that.
Which is what you wanted, yes. Okay. So this gives you a true top dead center. So then when your barrel extension goes in, your lugs on your barrel extension, this goes through the center of those.
I get it. And that's the thing with shittier BCGs or different BCGs is as it's rotating, you have a different rotation. So you're getting grind there, you're getting,
correct.
And yes, you could shoot it in because you're going to shoot in those fucking tolerance, but that still doesn't make it this good.
Or you're going to break lugs real quick.
Correct, correct.
If it's a really bad out of tolerance C rotation and cam path and
Makes
that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So by getting that to truly rotate that little bit longer,
right,
you dwelled the system.
Gotcha.
So there's a couple other companies out there that have changed and elongated the cam path and dwelled it certain things, this or that.
To fix the problem.
But they didn't get the 22.5 degree rotation.
Gotcha. So it's a Band-Aid.
They Band-Aided it.
Right, gotcha.
So some companies do a rolly thing up here. Some other, we use a regular mil-spec cam pin.
Yeah, I saw that.
We put our arrow in it.
Okay.
Our patented arrow. Because when you go to clean your BCG, that cam pin has to go back in the same way. You want consistency of lockup.
Okay.
So that gun consistently locking up the same way equals consistency and accurate. Consistency equals accuracy.
And if you reverse it, which I know I've done over the last 20 years, like 100 fucking times for sure.
Your gun then has to work harder
to recreate that.
To recreate that path in the cam pin to get it to where it likes it again.
Makes sense. Makes
so by
sense.
putting it back in the same way every time, consistent lockups, consistency, and accuracy.
Makes sense. So hopefully that dumbed it down for me and Sam, and for everybody else that isn't David, that doesn't know all that stuff, so that you guys can understand it. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's what it takes to be successful, right? So
the other good thing is all of our bulk carrier groups are made in-house. We grind the ODs. We grind all three IDs. The concentricities on all of that are ground in after heat treat. They're perfect.
Outside diameter, inside diameter. When he says OD, he's not talking about a green color. He's talking about outside diameter versus inside diameter on your BCG, which this is your motor, right? If you're thinking about a car and how far you can drive a car with no fucking motor or with blown pistons or blown rings or anything like that, you don't go very far. This is your motor. So like this is where you're gonna invest.
So by grinding, we get like a 6 surface finish. So feel the gas rings on the inside of that as you open and close that bulk carrier group. Those rings are sliding on that good surface.
Yeah.
So you don't blow rings out as easy.
That's true. It should.
It's not grinding every time.
It should last longer. And the other thing is that people are going to say it's so smooth it won't hold up. It does. Well, we're at an angle here, but yeah, as you can see, the gas. This is your normal test for it. It's holding up just fine. Okay. So we have an off-axis table. No, but I'm actually really stoked that you came out and you could talk about this because this video would have been a lot shittier.
We would have done disservice to the rifle.
If he wasn't here to talk about those specifics. And it's crazy too, because everybody looks at all this other bullshit and all the other aesthetics of a lower end, a rifle and the handguard. Like for me, I don't give a fuck about a handguard that much, right? A handguard is a handguard, right? Like, is it gonna stay in place and not walk? And that's it, right? Yeah. But like, nobody really talks about this part of that rifle. Yeah. That BCG, the gas system, the piston system in this instance, as far as being as important as it is, that's really one of the reasons I'm on board. Like I said, I'm not a gimmicky guy. I don't care if it's piston or DI. I just want it to work. That's what.
Let's talk about the gas block too, because I don't want to touch on that.
Yeah, because Nikki, I don't know if you can get in here. Clear. I don't know if you can get in here, but this shit is crazy the way it locks in.
It ain't going fucking nowhere.
It is going nowhere. People like the Geisleys that, you have to, put the locking pin in and stuff. So can you talk about those a little bit?
Yep. So we have our piston gas block here. Again, non-adjustable, so there's not all those ball bearings and detents and springs and everything else for the adjustment that always fail.
Right.
This gas comes up and it goes into gas nozzle. So gas nozzle slides in, there's one pin and you're good to go, right? So on our barrel, behind the gas hole, but in front of the shoulder.
So
we
like
put another
right here.
Right up here.
Right in between here, basically. Yep. Okay.
Right up here on the top. We put in another index pin. So the gas block slides over that index pin, so it can't do this now. And then we have a patented little pin here that is stopped on a detent and a spring.
Okay. That
you slide that patent out, or that pin out, it catches on the detent. It's like a miniaturized pivot pin system.
Okay.
Take out your 2 screws on the bottom, and you can slide your gas block up on the pin and weld or off on a non-pin and weld to change out your op rod, service your system, or that kind of stuff.
Okay. What's cleaning like? Everybody's bitch, right? 2 bitches about piston systems. Number 1, Sam, what is it?
They're too heavy.
Too fucking heavy. Number 2 is? Cleaning. The 2 is a plus, is the cleaning, and I'm always like, dude, look, you're either gonna have to clean your chamber from the DI, or you're gonna have to clean your piston system at somewhat. What is servicing like up front?
So on the op rod to gas nozzle, the gas nozzle has ridges that act as like, I don't want to say razor blades, but kind of like razor blades.
Okay.
So every time the piston system strokes, those ridges / razor blades kind of things clean the 6 holes.
Okay.
We suggest you
take a self-sharpening razor.
It's a self-cleaning, yes. So what we say is every 10,000 rounds, take it apart, wipe it down, put it back together, you're good.
Okay, 10,000 rounds. Seems like not a lot of rounds. I challenge you to count off 10,000 rounds. It's a lot of fucking range trips. Yeah. It's a lot of range trips, dude. Even if you shoot a lot. So that's a good time.
Every 3,000 to 4,000 rounds, take it out, wipe it off with the thin dense chrome. It's easy.
Okay.
Lube it back up, stick it back in.
And I mean, the BCG is something that I've been big on recently, but it is also a perishable thing, right? It's a motor. It's a motor that can break, right? So it is something that you will replace. Don't think that your BCG is gonna last you for the life of your gun. It's not going to, right?
If you're heavy shooting and that kind of stuff, replace your
10,000, 20,000 rounds, you know, 15,000 rounds, you're gonna need a new one, right? It's part of it. But with this one, there's no gas rings to go out, which is one of the big malfunctions. And if it is operating as smooth as you say it is, that wear pattern should be pretty normalized, so it should extend the length of the BCG and how it works.
On a DI
so it's pretty cool.
bolt carrier group on a 11.5-inch machine gun, running a RC2. I think we have 32,000 rounds on it right now.
Yeah, you'll shoot out the barrel before the BCG.
And they haven't cleaned it.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's pretty good.
They keep dumping oil through it, but they haven't cleaned it.
Yeah, especially suppressed, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a harsh.
And a machine gun.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's getting super hot. So, all right, well, I think that sums it up. We don't want to go too long for you guys. We don't want you guys falling asleep because me and Sam like to talk, but we want you guys to be engaged too. So we want to thank David and VKTR for coming out here.
We appreciate the invite.
Yeah, and it's a rad gun. We will have them in store when?
Very soon.
Very soon is the answer. Very soon is when we will have them in store. And we will also have the uppers. I'm 100%. The other cool part about it, colors, Sam.
Oh, yeah. The 3 actual colors that people care about.
Correct.
Whether you OD green nerds fucking believe me or not, is FDE, Sniper Gray, and Black.
Yeah.
Now, working behind a gun counter, I happen to know that those are the 3 colors that actually really sell. Nobody buys OD green. just get over it.
But the Sniper Gray, if you guys haven't seen it, come into the shop when we get them. It's a nice flat gray that's super cool. It doesn't have any sparkle like a tungsten gray in it or anything like that. A lot of people want tungsten. It's not tungsten, it's flat. When Joe told me that those were the 3 colors, I was like, okay, well, the company has some smarts then because they picked 3 good colors. Yeah. Because it's weird because people could have a really good company and then they pick 5 colors, including burnt bronze, tungsten, and OD green, and I'm like, but you didn't do any market research.
We may have done that with our
We've done it.
Yeah.
But we learned, right? We've been in business for a long time.
And they're still in stock.
Yeah,
right?
We're talking experience.
And we fuck shit up and then we make it better, right? It is what it is. But these guys got it right the first time as far as the colors. It's perfect. The gunshot, awesome. So come on in and check them out. Hit us up, hit Raul up. But don't forget to subscribe and comment, guys, and like the videos, and we can keep putting these out for you guys. Once again, thank you very much, David. Sam?
Yeah, thank you for having us out, man.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Don't shoot your eye out, okay? All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.